My name is Daniel, and I'm here to warn you about some of the mistakes that I made, so that you don't have to make them yourself. So, I'm a statistician, I develop methods, and I was in my blissful solitude, like this fellow here. This is actually a picture of myself in those olden days. And I composed this poem about how much I love solitude. I was just doing my research, being left alone by everybody. Nobody cared about my research. I could do anything I wanted. It was really wonderful. And of course, I made some mistakes and I didn't really do anything very useful, but I did get to compose this poem. So in a sense, that was a lot of benefit to it. And I would like to tell you what happened. So I made some mistakes. The first mistake I made was that, which you should of course never do, is that I developed open source software and I made it available to everybody. If you know something about the statistical software package R, I put it on the R archives. So it means that anybody in R can make use of my software package. That was one of my biggest mistakes, I have to say. The other very big mistake is that I always created preprints for my various papers. Sometimes I never got around to publishing them, but I always had a preprint up. And in fact, I have to warn you additionally on this one, because it's very easy to fall into this trap yourself, because there's this program from the OpenAccess.nl, from the libraries, who will help you make all of your papers available online for free for anybody to read. It's a program called You Share, We Take Care. So please beware of that program, so it doesn't trip you up as well. Well, what happened to me? What happened to this blissful solitude that I was in? First of all, I got a lot of emails. This is just a small screenshot of emails that I actually got about my software. As you can see, I haven't even got around to reading them all. Second of all, some of these people actually wanted to collaborate with me, which took valuable time out of my poetry schedule. And third, some of the emails I got about my preprints. So this is an email that I got about one of the preprints that I put up that I didn't even publish. It was just online as a preprint. And some guy that I never even met sent me out of the blue an email which looked like this. It has an introduction. I'll just pause for a second so you can process that. So it's an email with an introduction and different sections telling me how I'm wrong. Now, I don't like to hear that at all. Before, nobody was telling me I was wrong. Now this guy is telling me I was wrong, and now he's doing his PhD on this topic. And I didn't even publish the paper yet. Already from the preprint, he's doing his PhD on this topic. Now, as I am talking to you, thinking out loud, I guess I kind of have to agree. Somebody ended up completing my poem because I never had the time. I was so busy doing actual research. Somebody called Keats completed the poem, and he said it's his soul's pleasure to work together with different people. Well, he mentioned two, but I understand that today in this conference we actually have 250 kindred spirits, and I guess I kind of have to agree. So maybe heed the warnings that I gave you, and I hope to meet you all in this conference. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing this. I think you are probably one of the people who started at the right end, then relatively quickly, right? So can you maybe elaborate on how you why you decided already to publish your software and do all of these preprints, and share a little bit more about that?
Why I decided to do this? Well, first, I understand that on the internet, not everybody always understands irony. So just to emphasize that that might be something to think about. I never really thought about it in my environment, and also just from what I was learning on the internet, it just seemed like the thing to do. And everything that I was using and doing was open source. So I figured that I would make open source software too. It was an enormous amount of work. But yeah, also, like you see, I got a lot of back for it. And the same for preprints. And then I often hear these discussions about open science, and that people are saying, well, yeah, people should do more of this, do more that, but who's going to pay for that? And our PhD students and postdocs should also just do research, and they don't have time to do all this. Well, I don't understand that argument at all. At least for me, it was just part of my research, and I only had benefit from it.
And I think that is how it should be. Yeah.
So yeah, that was the hidden message.
I want to check if there are questions in the chat. I think there are some other discussions. Some people had problems with the video quality, so I hope my colleagues at Dansk can help you with that. And if there are no other questions, maybe if you still have questions for Daniel, feel free to put them in the chat. I believe you will be around to answer them if people want to know a bit more.
Yeah, sure.
And thanks a lot for advocating, for actually giving the message that it's actually not that difficult, and that it will solve your problem of solitude if you're starting to share your data and your code. Thank you very much, Daniel, for sharing your insights.